Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 40 of Huell's Gold. I almost said California's Gold. That's what we do the show about.
I wish we had done that show instead of the one we do now.
Sorry, that was funny.
I think I sabotaged the opening there by showing you the cold open. Cause
You're just shooting the water.
All right, so it's Water Under Pressure this week. It's the season premiere.
Yep. We're doing it, season 4.
Yeah, I'm glad we're back in California. Russia was nice, but this is where we belong.
It was the disco for me. I was there for the disco.
Yeah. But yeah, this is episode 501 of California's Gold, and yeah, we're starting right off with Huell. According to him, watering the lawn. Nope, he's squirting down the sidewalk.
What? And then he shoots the water directly in the air, and he says, "This is nothing." And then he starts watering the rocks after.
Oh man, there's a picture of me at 5 years old doing the same thing. Just putting that out there. That
we got to find it now.
Oh, I know where it is.
Okay,
I'll show you.
We'll do side by side.
And then, Huell kind of has the mentality of a child at times. Not to say he's unintelligent or
no, but he's childlike,
whimsical.
I like that. Yeah.
So, what did he have to say about where he didn't really say much about anything but the fact that we're looking at water under pressure?
Yeah. That pretty much describes what we do.
I really thought, because as Huell does often, he just uses songs whenever he wants. I really thought we'd get that David Bowie Queen Under Pressure, the song that would become the basis of Ice Ice Baby, right? Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So bum dum dum da da dum dum.
It's not like I didn't watch
dum dum ba da dum dum.
It's not like I didn't watch that behind the music 5,000 times. Whatever. This isn't.
Did you think this
Ice is
old
Gold.
Rick Tolls? Is that how you would pronounce that?
Yeah.
Rick Tolls. Did you think he was going to play Queen on that? Ding 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 ding.
That'd be the perfect one. Do you know what kind of instrument that is?
I don't.
I knew you didn't.
Okay.
Because you're not a big Banshee in the Kitchen fan, I guess.
No. Guess not. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not a fan. I just don't know if I am or not.
You never saw him?
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Banshee in the Kitchen is a local Celtic band here in town that...
They practice at Dagny's?
At Dagny's all the time.
Okay. Yeah, then I have seen them. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like that band
Banshee
playing.
in the Kitchen.
Banshee in the Kitchen.
Okay.
It's hammered dulcimer is the instrument. Anyway, that's not the... I'm not going to lie. That's not the reason I know that this is a hammered dulcimer.
Okay. Well, what do we got?
When I'm not watching California's Gold, I'm usually wasting my time watching Lord of the Rings and Hobbit behind-the-scenes things on the Blu-rays sets that they came out with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that's my go-to...
Just like mind-numbing activity?
Yeah, exactly. I've probably watched the movies and the behind-the-scenes stuff like many, many times through. And then, it's days worth of footage, like 50 hours worth of stuff. And yeah, they're one of the parts, the composer, Howard Shore, is talking about the hammered dulcimer. And that, now I know.
Hey, you learn something new every day. I had no idea. Just
like Huell is going to learn a lot about water under pressure, and we didn't know where we're starting. So Huell, hit it.
Well, looking for water under pressure, our first destination was definitely off the beaten track. We were heading for Malakoff Diggin State Historic Park, about 90 miles northeast of Sacramento in the Sierra foothills. And once we got there, we quickly discovered that this was a place rich in California mining history.
Okay, so have you ever heard of this place?
I'm going to go with a hard no on that one.
The Malakoff Diggins State Park. Just say it. It feels good to say it.
Malakoff Diggins State Park.
Yeah. World renowned.
Yeah, the Russians. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're kind of up in gold country again. I did, like, in all my research doing my Gold Country road trip, I did not come across this name, place, anything.
Did we go in Beeman's California history class? We talked a lot about this hydraulic.
Oh,
mining.
yeah.
Did they mention this in the?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, see, I don't remember. I didn't take notes. Weren't that great?
No, we were young.
I was there for the lectures, though. They were entertaining.
We were young boys then. We didn't know what we were doing. Anyway, we are starting off at the Malakoff Diggin State Park, as you heard, and right off the bat, we are met by Ken Huey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ken Huey.
Okay. Let's go with Ken Huey.
Which I did just a tiny bit of research on Ken Huey.
I was hoping you did.
And so in 2004,
okay,
there was an article, unless this is a totally different Ranger Ken Huey in California, which I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But in 2004, he was actually stationed. He was one of the, I forget if it's 57 people that get to live on Angel Island, which we did an episode on.
Ooh, man.
But he got to live in a very nice, the quarters for Rangers on that site. And he was paying $200 a month in 2004. Utilities included.
Oof.
And he was 53 years old in 2004 when that article was written. So he's about 67 today.
Okay.
I didn't find an obituary on him, so I'm presuming he's still alive.
Well, maybe he ended up in the quarters of that party that we saw. Oh, no, that was Angel Island. That's something. What am I thinking of?
San Nicolas.
That's right. Well, there were parties on... there were like welcome back parties.
Yeah, they were.
For the World War II vets. So, anyway, there's too many dang episodes of this show.
I know.
I'm going to get
so
mixed
many.
up all the time. Anyway, we're here in Bloomfield, or what was Bloomfield, which was one of these gold rush towns that had a bunch of people, and now zilch. No one. And what would you say? Ken doesn't really mince words too much before he gets to the facts about what he calls the Hendy Giant.
I thought it was the Handsy Giant. The Handy Giant.
Yeah, Hendy.
Oh, Hendy.
That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, wow, my notes are totally off.
It's not like I looked it up. I did little to no research this week.
Yeah, I should have watched it with the captions on. I could have caught it.
Yeah. But anyway, the Hendy Giant is a humongous water nozzle. Like, humongous water nozzle. What else can you... like?
It's just huge. Yeah, it's a big... like the spout of a hose on a fire hose, but no hose.
Yeah.
Just the front piece, the whole thing.
So let's get to these statistics that he's shooting out, because this is what starts getting Huell.
I like it.
This is what gets Huell all excited. 1 million gallons per minute. 1 million.
Not this one though. We get to learn, but at its peak.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, that's crazy.
What I thought was, I guess it is very high, but 200 psi, and this thing's breaking up rocks.
Yeah,
that seems excessive, or not enough.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not a geologist or a hydrologist, so what do I know? Either way, this giant thing was used, as Ken tells us, in Humbug Creek because it didn't have enough gold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ken. And once they realize, oh, there's no gold here. Oh, well, there's a little bit, but it's all up in the dirt. Let's just start blasting away.
It.
And then he said, "Here's my okay. I like Ken. He's one of these state park rangers. They always seem to know their facts, but I'm gonna have to call old Kenny out because he said that the soil that was being washed away by this big hose was from a river that ran 50 million years ago, when the dinosaurs were around." Okay, Ken. I'm no paleontologist either, but I did watch Jurassic Park in 1994, and I'm pretty sure it was 65 million years ago.
That's right.
That's what I've been hearing forever. I would definitely trust Steven Spielberg movie over a park ranger. Just kidding. But I wish we had gotten the big nozzle as a demonstration. Not gonna happen.
This is okay. I mean, it's cool that he turned it on, but it's like when certain fireworks were illegal and they gave us the TNT fireworks and you lit a fountain. Yeah. And you're like, wow, super cool.
Yeah, but to be fair, it is a big old hose and it shoots pretty far. But
I think you could sense the disappointment in Huell's voice
a little bit, yeah. Because the Hendy Giant was a 10-inch nozzle, and the one that we're getting here is 3-inch nozzle. So, I mean, you could just do a little bit of imagination to get it going. But I liked how when they're getting ready to do this, all of a sudden there's a car coming, and they're like, oh, man, better stop that car. And Ken doesn't even... He just opens it anyway. But then it also gets nowhere near the car.
Yeah.
So
maybe he knew it. I don't know.
There's also kids, like, what I assume to be way too close to this thing, seeing as this thing is, what, 150-year-old nozzle made of cast iron?
Did you notice that Ken just becomes a firefighter all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Is able to unleash the water from a fire hydrant?
Yeah. It's definitely not... I wouldn't call it lackluster. It's still a big old thing, but...
That's cool.
It's cool enough.
I mean, the first thing Huell notices are the leaks. And he said, hey, you should probably fix those.
Dude, he was very worried about these leaks. Again, it's a 150-year-old cast iron big old nozzle from the gold rush. It's not going to be in tip-top condition.
Ken kind of laughs it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good Ken impression. But then we kind of switch gears and we're heading to the mining pit, which I've watched this episode before, and I get the same thought, and it always goes back to that California history class we took. And because our professor did talk about that a lot, like this was a big part of it. And back then I was thinking like, oh man, I wonder how crazy that looks. I wonder how bad it really was. This is gnarly.
Yeah.
Like they blew off, how much did they say?
41 million
cubic yards. Now that's just that's not able to be like visualized really, but it is. There's one black and white picture where they show the humongous crater that these fools made.
Mm-hmm.
And then Huell kind of brings up the fact that this was... Well, no, wait, was it Huell? I think it was Ken who said, some people see it as beautiful, some see it as a disaster area. Huell went with the disaster line of thought.
Well, he actually made a stronger statement and said it was almost, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but a universally agreed upon ecological disaster.
Mm-hmm. And
I think it looks cool. I may be the minority in that.
I mean, if this was like a totally natural phenomena, yeah, it does look cool.
Right.
But it is kind of odd that I'll take partial blame for it. I own gold things. Like, all for gold, we'd like blast it away.
Yeah. But I think it's more of a, well, you don't want to get too far into it, but it's really a property rights problem. Because what it ended up doing was affecting the farmers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
So really it's a property rights dispute.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone owns the land, I guess they could do it if they want to, but it seemed like this was more just out in the open blasting some rock.
Mm-hmm. And, this was gold rush time, so mid-1800s, and California was freshly a state. It had been a territory and part of Mexico and Spain for many years before that, but this is like fresh U.S. statehood for California, and this ecological disaster ended up resulting in one of the first ecological legislative measures to be handed down in 1884 because, as you said, the people downstream were just getting slammed with all this dirt. I mean, the dirt's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's where it went, was downstream. and farmers were pitching fits.
Not very happy about it.
No.
Well, that's yeah. Anyway, so we had something like that here with the two huge land holders in the county. One owned land upstream of the Kern River and dammed it, and then it was a landmark water case. It happened right here in the Kern River, and
that's kind of the story of water rights. Well, one of the stories of water rights in California, time and time again. Even though we get these legislative measures that happen, water greedy people find ways to sneak stuff around in many different ways. Like, again, here in this area, it still goes on now. It's still an ongoing thing. There hasn't been any solution to the issue, but the underground water storage underneath us now is a whole other thing. Who owns that far down underground? And all those aquifers that we have, there's documentaries being made on PBS about it now. So it's an ongoing thing.
It is.
I think it always will be. California and its water.
Well, maybe we'll do in between next season, we'll do a water episode. We can talk more about it.
Well, as you know, Huell had a whole series called California's Water.
Yeah.
And that happens to be the only time that Huell made it to the wondrous, glorious Lake Elsinore.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you know they used to have it wasn't Nessie, they called it Elsie. And it was and they had it in the middle of the lake.
I did not hear about this.
Yeah.
Oh man. For those that don't remember, Alan's wife Kathleen from Lake Elsinore.
Yep. And she remembers growing up. If I get that story right, I'm pretty sure she was a child when they still had it. And then
still had what?
The Elsie. The Loch Ness monster.
Oh, it's not there anymore? They found it and killed it?
The Elsinore monster. Well, no, they pulled it out. It was dirty or I don't know the history behind it.
Wait, what are you talking? This is a real thing?
It's a real thing. It was in the middle of the lake. They came out of the lake. They called it Elsie. It was like a funny thing, a play on Loch Ness monster.
But what was it, though?
It was just a made dinosaur, plesiosaurus, whatever they're supposed to be. I don't know what the cryptozoologists call it.
Oh, are you saying someone just made a little model thing?
Yeah, but it popped out of the water, and it was sort of a jokey.
I thought you meant there was a continuing legend that there was also a monster in this lake. Oh, okay.
It was a model.
Someone had a little joke time, and... Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Either way, we need to go there. We need to physically go there because we've been hearing about this place for years from you and Kathleen. And I'm still holding you to this standing invitation we have with Kathleen's parents.
And we'll go to Amy Semple McPherson's castle.
Another thing that was not on any California's Gold episodes.
This is a shame.
I think that was just one of those things that fell through the cracks, and Huell never got around to. He just died too early.
Well, there you go. Well, now we're covering it.
Yeah, we'll be sure to cover that when we go there sometime, as if we're Huell and Louie.
We'll go visit the Historical Society too on Main Street.
There you go.
It'll
Tons
be fun.
Of stuff.
Get some stadium pizza. It'll be good.
So, one last thing about this before we move on, because we're about to move on to the next segment. Huell asks Ken a very important question, in my opinion. Were people killed? Ken dodged that like...
Politician.
Yeah. Because he just looked at him for about 3 seconds blankly. Well, when the dirt would fall, it would blow people out of their boots, and just not answering directly. And sometimes the dirt would fall all over the place, and then people would get buried, but they'd get pulled out alive.
Every time.
Yeah. Okay, dude. I've heard of many deaths, Gold Rush era time.
Mm-hmm.
Many different ways. I'm going to assume maybe a couple dudes breathed their last. Preview of next week. Should we move on?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's head over west. Huell, where are you going now?
Our next destination in search of water under pressure was about 2 miles north of the town of Calistoga in beautiful Napa Valley. Now, we were there in search of the Old Faithful Geyser of California. And when we pulled in, drove through the gates, we could tell right away the place had kind of a down-home, relaxed feel to it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, I'm Huell Hauser.
Well, I'm Olga Kolbeck.
Nice to meet you. I've been talking to you on the phone.
Well, wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here.
Now, we're here to see the geyser.
Wonderful. Well, I want to give you a complimentary card on the geyser.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, let's go see it, because I have seen pictures
it should erupt
of it.
again in approximately 15 minutes.
Oh, good. So we're right on time.
Right.
Wine country, huh?
I guess so. This is totally all up in it. I was looking at the Google map of where this was, and like a block away is a winery. So I wonder.
It's by Sonoma, right? The actual city Sonoma? Or is it more by Napa?
I don't remember. It's kind of
in that area,
outside
though,
of
the valley.
Both. Yeah. But I just wonder some of those winery owners, what they think about this kind of roadside attraction thing.
Oh, cool. Water.
Hey, man, that thing's been around longer than any of those vineyards were.
Than the dinosaurs?
I don't know about that. Well, it is a volcano. What are we talking about? Old Faithful. California's Old Faithful. Did you know this was there?
I did not. And I didn't. I would have thought, because I'm thinking of Old Faithful in Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a national park. This is owned by...
Yellowstone is, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Yellowstone. I forget. Anyway, this is actually owned by Olga Kolbeck.
Mm-hmm. We'll get more into the ownership of it in a bit.
Okay.
But what were you saying?
I didn't know if this is the only, quote unquote, owned geyser. There's only 3 in the world, so.
Well, there's 3 Old Faithfuls, she says. Olga Kolbeck, who is the owner of where we are here, it's listed as Calistoga, but that's not where it was on the map according to Google Maps. It's fine. That's where the star is. Let's call it Calistoga.
Where was it?
They call it Sonoma, I think.
Oh, okay.
But what do I know? What does Google know? All I know is Huell really went there and walked right in the front gate with no car to meet Olga at what looks like the gift shop / office / snack bar.
What's the price there? $4 each for an adult.
$4.50 for adults, $3.50 for seniors, $2.99 for children under 12, free for kids under 6. They also, I wonder if they still do sell Kodak film. I'm going to vote no.
Maybe one of those disposable.
When's the last time you saw one of those?
Well, Kathleen just had me develop pictures from one. But it wasn't Kodak. So there you go.
Okay. Well, we'll call it even. I don't know what that means. Anyway, when you see Olga here, because first off, her and Huell are matching. Blue shirts, black pants. No biggie. It happens all the time. Me and Aaron match all the time for some reason. I don't know what happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
When you're married, you're on the same wavelength. And just
she'll walk out of the bathroom. I'm coming out of the bedroom.
Okay.
We're both wearing flannels and pants, just with like band T-shirts underneath. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing today. No biggie. But one thing that Olga has that Huell doesn't is that very obvious, very giant necklace. Did you notice this thing?
Yeah. How can you not notice that?
I know. It's giant. I really wish they had gotten in closer on it, because it's obviously like big ornate thingamajig on her old sternum there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really kind of like took me out of the moment a little bit. Sorry, Olga. Like, you tell me good information.
Well, I described her as an excitable fact machine.
I got to call her out on something, though, just like I did with old Ken, because she was talking about the yearly average of when this thing pops off. So 40 minutes, every 40 minutes this thing comes off on the yearly average, but it can go, half an hour to 2 hours, but that's the average. Okay. She says, but it depends on the barometric pressure, the moon, the tides, the earthotonic stresses. All right. So I looked up this term. Google just said no. Just straight
can't
up.
Find idiots?
We can't find anything. I want to check the closed captions on this, so hold on.
This is amazing.
Oh, no. No. See, I think the closed captioner tried to save her, don't you think?
I think that he heard her say earthotonic, and then he said, he paused it and said, I don't know, what is she trying to say? Let's go with Earth's tectonic.
Just go listen to it yourself. There's definitely no way that that's really what is going on. Earthotonic. Either way, the next shot, when we're actually at the geyser, we do see her necklace a little bit more up close. Just kind of a florally thing, but it looks like it's made out of abalone shells to me. So that's what I'm going to go with. Abalone necklace on Olga. Abalone Olga. So this was one of the things that was like a tentative maybe on our road trip. And I'm going to tell you why we didn't do it. Because I looked it up, and they have this cool website, lots of information, the history of it, all this stuff. But what they don't mention in this episode, nor on their website, but it is on Wikipedia, which has a source. I checked the source. This is kind of man-made.
What that means?
According to this source, there was a geyser here, but it had been long since dormant. And Olga tries to talk about who was the author that she mentioned. Did you write his name down?
I didn't.
Okay. Let's look it up.
This is amazing.
All right. Robert Louis Stevenson.
Oh, I had R.L. Stein.
Oh, no.
But it was R.L. Stevenson.
Yeah.
Psych.
Robert Louis Stevenson, author of Treasure Island, and what was the other one?
That's a,
Dr. Jekyll,
strange
Mr. Hyde.
case. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Yeah. Got caught up there.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, wasn't there an equivalent Jack-in-the-Box style book that R.L. Stein wrote? You need to look it up again?
Oh, man, I got to look that up.
Let's look it up.
This is amazing.
Yeah, no.
What were you thinking of?
The one I had in my mind, for some reason, is called
Night of the Living
Night
Dummy.
of the Living Dummy. But there is one. What was it called? Jekyll and Heidi?
Jekyll and Heidi,
Jekyll and Heidi. All right. So, there you go. A little mashup. Anyway, Robert Louis Stevenson said that there was steam and geysers all over the place. But this specific geyser was created by a guy drilling for a water well. And he just drilled down like, probably blew his hand off, like Olga warns of. And then Old Faithful was born. It was a geyser previously. It had been kind of sealed up.
It was just reopened.
But it wouldn't have been there if he hadn't been drilling.
Right.
Supposedly. Who knows? I think not. So that's why I decided not to go.
Okay.
Good enough?
That's good. I get it.
Whatever.
It's like 90... Well, it's all of it. So that makes sense to me. I probably would still go, but it makes sense why you didn't.
Well, I mean, we were mostly on the eastern side of the state.
Yeah.
Sometime later, I'm going to be on the western side of the state. I'll probably go then. But as you know, we needed to slam over to San Francisco.
You guys had a packed trip.
Ended
I
up
get it.
hanging out with you fools. But I got to, it happened again recently, but not to me. We've talked about this. We've done this before. One of my favorite things that happens in life is when you, or I'll say I, go on a trip somewhere or just go out of town for whatever reason, and I run into someone, a friend, also in that town.
Mm-hmm.
like an unexpected, impromptu, out-of-town hangout. The one that happened with us, not just most recently, but like the most like out-of-nowhere one, was I was at our friend Steven's house, Steven Velo of Blossom Trail episode fame. I was just hanging out with him in Fresno. That's where he lives. So I was there, and your band happened to play at the CYC, and we just went. I don't even know. I can't remember if we knew you guys were playing, but it definitely was not part of our plan. And we just showed up, and you were there.
That's
and we
funny.
didn't like hang out a lot then either.
Yeah.
Those are the early days.
Who knew, huh?
Who knew that we'd be
Was that
doing
when we were
this
driving the
crazy show?
motorhome?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
You guys were kind of the hit of the show, showing up in the motorhome. I don't remember what other bands were playing that night, but...
Sure, we could find it. We can ask Jeremy.
Jeremy, I know you're listening. Whenever you hear this, try and think of when the different times, the times that Reach played at the CYC, and it would have been what, like 2000?
Boy, 11? 12?
Yeah, I was going to say between 2010 and 2012.
Well, because was it? Well, we can talk about this more off the air. But was it before the record, or is it?
Yes, it
Before,
was.
so it's before 2010 then, because we
Okay.
recorded that in 2010.
So hit us up. Anyway, back to Old Faithful. What did you think about Huell, how he kind of acts here? Because he's getting the information from Olga, and of course, he's got to touch it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He always has to touch it.
Dude, it's what he does.
I know.
Is there a part, though, around 17 minutes
Uh-huh.
that... Let's go ahead and hit play on that. Let's see.
What is she doing?
Oh, no.
Well, my video froze. Hold on.
Cool.
There we go.
Huell just... His whole foot gets wet.
Totally. Dude fell in. Like, it's just a little bit. But look at the toe of his boot. That thing is soaked. Because he got all greedy. He asks her, can I touch this? And before she can even explain if this is a boiling hot, like, melt your skin off thing, he
dips
going
his paw.
in.
Puts his paw right in there.
He's going right in. Anyway, Huell's getting anxious here. Can you feel his, like...
Oh, he wants to see it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you see the steam bubbling, and then a blah, blah, blah. It just starts for a second. And Huell just cannot contain himself because he thinks, oh, it's finally happening. Even when he's listening to Olga go on about the information, he keeps just keeping a little side eye on it.
Come on.
Because, again, this is Olga's whole job here, is keeping people a little bit engaged until this thing finally blows. And this probably happens to her every day, wouldn't you think, where she's like going on, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, ah, and freaking out.
She just has to stop.
And just has to
Start
stop.
it up later. So, when we get the first burp,
Yeah.
his first reaction was to grab Olga's arm. Right? He's nervous. He's reaching for her.
Yeah.
As if she was in danger.
I mean, this thing is blowing boiling water 30 feet in the air, so I get it.
Dude, Olgie's been around for a while.
Oh, man.
I thought it was funny how concerned he was.
But this is about the time that we get to hear about the ownership of the geyser itself, because Huell mentions, like, oh, you own this, and she's like, oh, well, the bank owns it. I'll have it paid off in 2012.
Which is accurate.
Yeah. What year are we looking at now? If we're in season 4, this is 1994.
94, yeah.
So Olga's not super elderly during this time, but you think she made it to pay it off?
2012?
Yeah.
No.
I looked on the
don't.
website. Unfortunately, she's not really listed anywhere that I could find.
Maybe she sold it and she's still alive.
There you go.
Trying to be optimistic over here.
Yeah. I really think that this is in the part of the episode when we get that first burp, Huell's getting a little anxious, that we would get like these kind of long form interviews. And we get some interviews for sure, but they're not like... I don't think Huell got what he wanted.
No, not at all.
Because, we get a father-son touching the water, trying to catch fish. Cool. It's short, and Huell's really having to kind of press the guy, and he's just nodding a lot and giving little short answers.
And just has
don't blame him. I would be the same way.
Has cool shorts, but other than that, there's nothing notable about the interview.
He then
bombards.
That's the way to put it.
Descends.
He descends upon a married couple who obviously didn't want anything to do with him because they're in the very back corner of the property. And I got to say, this guy, in every manner of dress, look, hairstyle, everything, looks like one of my old landlords who like kind of lived on the premises of where I lived, so I saw him all the time.
What if it's him?
Then old Joe's been looking the same for a long time. But anyway,
he's articulate.
Well, no it's doubt. Funny you say that. Because did you catch what Olga said earlier? Because Huell asked, like, oh, what kind of people come here? And she said,
right.
high-class, well-educated people come to the geyser.
And then they clapped after she said that.
Well, yeah, because Huell said, did you hear that? She's saying nice things about you people. So apparently no dummies go to the geyser, I guess.
Oh, well, that's why maybe that's why you guys weren't heading over there.
Whoa, dude. Well, she also said, I think this is the quote of the episode. Do you remember this line where she says, people who like taverns don't like geysers?
Yeah. Well, when I first heard that, I thought she said caverns.
I don't think so. I mean, either one kind of makes sense, but I like because it followed right after the high-class, well-educated people line. So I think I'm going to go with that. You're not arguing? It's what it is.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to go with... I was focusing my attention on Mr. Northern Italian man.
Oh, yeah, the Northern Italy guy who had to make sure he's from Northern Italy. He wouldn't let Huell...
Doesn't want to associate with the peasants of Southern Italy.
I guess so.
So what was your favorite part about him?
Okay. All right, let's explain it. Okay. He's got purple, or pink.
Fuchsia.
Yeah. Fuchsia drawstring elastic waistband shorts. Something that I would imagine Bret the Hitman Hart to wear at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
He has a Harley Davidson shirt tucked in with...
It's one of those dual shirts, too.
Yeah, where it's like...
arms.
It makes it look like it has an undershirt built in, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you got? He's got...
Dude, he has a green scrunchie to hold his pony.
I didn't notice that. But...
That's my favorite part.
It looks... At first I thought he had two watches on. But he does. It's a bracelet and a watch. But I got to see this next part. Because he's just like, talking about Northern Italy, got his bangs kind of flowing in the wind. And then the geyser starts right in the middle of this interview. And I think I have missed this till now. I got to double check.
This is amazing.
No, it didn't. I thought it said Bakersfield.
How cool.
Yeah, that would have been good. That he was like on his way up north after going to Bakersfield on a U.S. road trip. But here's the moment of truth. Here it is. Here we go. Old Faithful.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a geyser, and it's shooting, and it's blowing, and Huell gets up there. He's pointing the mic at it, and he has to go find Olga. He runs, grabs Olga, and she's like, yep, there it is. There it is. And there it is.
And there it went. Because then we turn to our outro, which is an extended montage of the geyser.
In fact, in the little goodbye segment that Huell does, you could tell that they had to wait around again so that Louis could get these credits shots of the geyser, and I could only imagine what Huell was doing, having to wait around again, and thinking like, "Oh, is it just going to be another burp? Is it just going to be another burp?" Louis like, "Dude, I don't know. I just got to get my shot.
Let's just wait here. We're already here."
I don't know. Olga was selling some what looked like lemonades at the snack bar. Huell, Huell loved lemonade because back where were we? Amboy?
Amboy, yeah.
You couldn't wait to get that lemonade.
Just chomp the ice after he took a big gulp.
He was all on it. But yeah, it's odd because there's all this great geyser footage. Louis did great shots. He's like zooming in right as it ends its last little gasp there. No music.
No.
It's just the white noise of the geyser to end us. Now, usually I do the ending music. Should I just play the white noise?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So, what we'll do here, because we're going to wrap this up. Huell's wrapped up. We need to wrap up. We're just going to play some white noise at the geyser, and I'm going to let it roll a little while. Because I'm hoping people are listening to this right before they go to sleep, and then the last thing they hear is they don't have to buy one of those white noise machines.
No.
Do people still buy those?
I feel like your phone has everything you need. I think Spotify has a playlist for that now.
Last time I remember hearing of any white noise machines, I think it was on the Mindy Project. That's a contemporary show.
Sometimes I play, this is weird, but on YouTube I play a box fan.
Wow.
When I don't have a box fan going.
Yeah, because you own a box fan that you use in the hot summer months of Bakersfield, which is most of the year.
Yeah.
You can't just turn it around? Just let it blow the wall and just have the noise?
Leave me alone.
All right, whatever. Either way, we're doing you this service.
And we'll do you another service and get out of here.
That's right. We got to head over to the Historical Society meeting. We only got a few minutes to spare, so we hope that you come along with us next week and every week as we continue our search for...